Alright guys, we're going to do a how to edit. We'll start with the Insta360 Go 3 for the first section of this video. So let's click on the Insta360 app. We're then going to find the camera. I'm looking for, oh, this is not the right one. We're going to find this Go 3. Recognizing it. Connecting to the Wi-Fi. Join. Alright, so here are today's videos. So I'll pick one that's, real easy. Let's just start with this video here in the top right. So, first things first, I know I'm going to trim down the size of the video. So, in the bottom left, you'll see for trim. So, this is going to give us our whole timeline. Just above the timeline, you're going to see two boxes up on the left. One has dashes with a white block to the right. The other has a white block, then dashes to the right of the white block. Those are Insta trims. So if I have at any point in the video it's playing, if I hit the one to the left, it'll immediately bring that to the starting point. If I click the other one, it'll make it the end point. So for me, I usually like to start at the make ready. So I'm going to look to see.
You're shooting major. Yeah, all the walks. Are you ready?
All right, so it's are you ready? So we're going to set that to trim. Then if I grab it and hold it down, it's going to do for microseconds. And I can gently move it back to the left. We'll say about 24 seconds. And we're going to listen to make sure I hear the are you ready is clear.
Are you ready?
2 seconds isn't too bad.
Take the back. Stand by.
So you can end the video at any time you like. I'm just end it here. You can see the quick trim right to that point. In the bottom right, I'll click the check mark. And we're set as far as that's concerned. So here's the timeline again. In the bottom center, you'll see the button for edit. We can then make decisions as far as if I want to add audio to this, if I want to change the speed, freeze on the frame. I can also change the color. I can adjust it to make the video increase exposure, decrease exposure, all depending on, how bright I want the video or not. I can also do this in the editor, which I'll show you again in a minute. But again, I have contrast, I have brightness. I wasn't too upset by any of this. So I'll just click OK, go down. Now I can either instantly download this to my computer or tablet in this case. By going to the top right, you'll see that bright yellow button with the box with the arrow pointing up. That's to save the video. You'll see above the export to phone, there's also the platform parameters. If I want to send it to Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, I can, change it based on whatever I'd like. But for this project, we're going to hit the back button, go back to the album. So you see the video, it has the little scissors up in the top left. It'll show 28 seconds there in the top right. That shows that there's some edits associated with that video. So let's go over here to the bottom. If you look right next to the camera on the yellow, it's going to say edit. So let's click edit. I know there's a network problem because we're not connected to the internet. So it says create a video. It's up in the top right corner next to auto edit. So we're going to create the video. Let's just click on that same one we were just editing and then click next. And this is just a straight video. Now, if you wanted to put this onto like Instagram or YouTube for Reels, you know that as far as this setting, it would not work. So you need either a 1:1 or a 9:16. So you could crop the video, or if you go down here on the bottom and scroll to the right, you'll see ratio. we hit ratio, we actually have the 1:1 and the 9:16. By clicking on these, it actually adds dead space. So I'm not changing the actual focus or the picture. I'm just filling in the space to make it eligible. So I like the 1:1. Works out great for this. We'll drop it down. I can also, again, here, you see the adjust button right next to ratio. If I wanted to change the exposure, the brightness, get rid of shadows. Now, what's really nice is if there's, say, one part of the video where you're like, it's much darker in this beginning, but at the end it's really bright. Well, in the bottom left, if you scroll, you'll see what's called the split key. If you hit split, it actually adds a little tiny dash, and you can separate your clip into sections. So if I wanted to get rid of this section, I can just hold on to it, put it in the trash. If I wanted to make it the beginning, I could. But we're going to leave that there. But let's just say on this section, you know what? It's just too bright. So I can go to the adjust, drop the exposure, and it's only for that part of the video. So this kind of helps out, you know, if you're shooting under trees, and, you know, all of a sudden the sun decides to come out halfway through. Hey, that's great. It works. So we're going to export this. Again, I set this to the default, export it to my phone. It's going to load it there real quick. Awesome. It's been saved to the phone. Again, if I back out of the app and I go over to my photos, hey, what do you know? There it is. The video we just edited. And it also has the 1:1 ratio, which means I can upload it for Instagram or YouTube for Reels. I can also do that directly through the app. Also going into the app, we'll go back there. Say that, you know, you're not going to be bringing your camera with you and you're going to go on a flight and you want to do these edits later. You can actually take your videos, and if you hold on the picture, you have the option for link sharing, make it a favorite, or download. If you download, it'll actually save it to the app so that you can still edit this video in the app for later. And that'll come in handy later on if you're trying to, you know, work multiple devices. Say you have two Go's or you have two X3s. I like to download everything onto one micro SD card and then load it onto the one X3. This way I don't have to download it onto this. But that is one of the options. So this is a quick edit for the Go 3. We'll do the X3 next, and hope this was helpful. Alright guys, we're going to do a quick video on the simplest way to edit videos on the X3. So let's get to our Insta360 app. We're going to load up. We are going to connect to the X3, join the Wi-Fi network. We're going to cancel that download. You should update your firmware regularly, but I'm not going to wait for that. All right, so let's find a video to edit. I'm looking at the video in the top right, 1623. Let's go into it. Look at the range. So let's get to the shooter I want. Again, just like on the Go 3s, I know I have to trim the video. So the first thing I want to do is I want to trim just the shooter that I want to do, which is myself. So we're already in trim. We're just going to drag all the way to the end, which it should be me. There we go. All right.
Same thing I said. I said
no. So we're going to let it play.
Oh, you're ready.
Hands are down. So I'm going to set that to trim right there. Let's just make sure he says it again.
No, I think
he's going to start shooting. And at this point,
it's going to be today. We'll finish that
where I am. And I like to just set each one of my cameras running until the stage is done.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, clear, camera down. Range is clear. We're pausing the video. We're gonna, just like on the Go, trim to the end. And great. This is the clip I want. Now, if you notice, in the very bottom, it's very, very, very small. That's something with the software on the Insta app that if you immediately trim a clip, it makes it that tiny fraction of what it once was. So you see the arrow keys on the left and the right of the screen. Just click one of them, go over to the next frame, or you could just back out of the video as a whole. If I go back to the video, you'll see on the bottom that timeline's much larger. So that's what I want. So you'll see on the timeline that beautiful yellow plus sign. That's what's called a keynote. Keynotes are what allows you to set where you want the camera to be viewing at that time. When you set a second keynote, it then wants to have the camera focused in that direction. Now, some of the things you'll run into is, let's just say I started the camera in this direction on the keynote. I start playing, and I watch myself over here, and I go, oh, I want to focus on here. Now, only 1 second has passed. So what do you think is going to happen? If we back out of this from the edit, let's just go back and look at the 28 seconds. It's going to show the camera that in 1 second it's going to transition over to me. So I don't want that. So let's get rid of these keynotes. And let's shoot it like, hey, let's focus on the shooter. So if you grab and spread your fingers, you can zoom in. And you can also zoom out. The problem with the X3s, as I've said before in our little accelerator program, is the more you zoom in, the less detailed everybody is. So let's just get what I think is an okay view. And we're going to say the video starts here. We will then hit play. All right, so I'm about to make a move because I can see my hands moving. So the camera's still focused in that one spot. If I hit a second keynote, the camera is now getting ready to say between the first second, between time 0 and 3 seconds, the camera's still pointing in that direction. We'll hit play again, and I've moved forward. If I want to change my position, sorry, I didn't want to do that. I can now move the camera here, and now the camera is going to focus in that fraction of a second to where I took the step forward. Now we play again. Okay, I'm starting to move to the right. So we're still in the same frame. We haven't moved. I'll click again. I want to say, hey, still focus here, but we're getting ready to make a move. I've now moved closer. I can then zoom out a little bit because I'm getting closer to my camera. And I'll set the second keynote. Hey, I did a little bit of a zoom out. So now within that 1 second, it's going to be in a point, and we're going to slowly zoom out. Doing some shooting, and I'm getting ready to leave. Just as I'm getting ready to leave, I'll set another keynote because I'm now out of the camera range. For that 3 seconds, I can then come over to me, hit another keynote, and the camera's going to track that time distance from where I was. So if we look at it this way, we'll see just from the beginning, just see what I've done. Okay, keynotes here. I'm moving forward. The camera went down. I zoomed out. I then ran, and the camera tracked me because that's how fast I moved. I had the one keynote where I started. I then let the video play and go to the new location. I set the second keynote where I stopped. So the camera's going to track the keynotes. It's not tracking me, it's tracking the keynotes. The program does have an ability to track movement. The problem with that is if, you see Tomas in the background, awesome dude, he's moving, the camera might focus on him. I don't want that. He's a beautiful man, but I want it to focus on me. So, I'm getting closer in, so I'm going to zoom out and change the angle just to what I think looks a little bit better. I'm going to pop. Hey, look at that. I'm going to start walking forward. So I know I'm walking. I'm going to back out. And I'm starting to walk. So I'm going to start zooming in and put in a second keynote. And then I move forward some more. And another keynote. And you can put as many as you like or as little as you like. All depends on your editing style. It takes some time, but as you get used to it, you'll be happy with, your shooting. All right, I'm about to make a jump over there. And again, see that X? It means the keynote, not enough time has passed since I set the first keynote. So I gotta wait. And now I have the zoom in. That's where I am. Again, a little grainy.
Yeah, I think so.
And the camera's gonna end on this. Now, because it's 9:16, this video I can post directly to Instagram or YouTube, and it would go right onto a reel. But we can also go into the editor, same way we did on the Go. I'll hit edit. We're going to go up to the create a video. And it just so happens I edited one before. So we have the 28 seconds there. And you'll see another video with another scissors that says 27 seconds. That's a second video that I took because I ran 2 cameras at the same time. What I like to do with this is I'll play the video and see when do I start getting further away from the camera than I like. See if I like where the tracking was. Did I stay in focus? Did I stay in focus?
Finish that.
And I like to look for timing. Okay, so now I've switched to look at that target. That to me seems almost like a good time to split, but we'll check it again later. I started with the forward and then I went into this one. So again, this is the video we just edited before.
Yeah, I think so.
Now, you'll see there's a second track in here that I added. This is from the other end, so it's further away and grainy. What we can do is, wait for me to shoot. Alright, so I remember that time I went to the window. I'm going to pause real quick. And there's where I did my turn. I hadn't shot yet. What's nice is because you can hear the timer, you can hear the beep, I can set everything at the same time, but I know, hey, you know what? I'm about to approach that other target. Let's put a split here. And then see, is that nice? Okay, yeah, I ran forward, and then I'm up closer. So now we have 2 different angles from where I am. So here's where this first split is. I'm going to take it and put it in the trash. Let's take a look at the second split. Put it in the trash. Now I have 2 splits, and we'll just start them halfway through just so you can see what I did.
Finish that.
I went in here, to the pocket, swung, and there's the transition. Now, in the editor, it's a little slower. You can see how it gets all grainy. So let's export it just to see what I've done. So in the top right corner, we're going to hit export to phone. Exporting it out. Again, there's a lot of different ways you can edit this. There is no right way. I learned how to do it manually before they had the nice autofocus. I just haven't gone back because I like to have control of my camera. So now it's been moved over. So let's take a look at what I've done. We'll go to photos. We're going to go to the video. And since I exported it, let's take a look. Let's turn the sound on.
And the reload. So I think
it wouldn't be too bad. Shooting could have been a hit.
it's gonna be to Danny. Finish that.
Shooting. See, there was no graininess. The transition really nice. I was happy with it. The biggest thing when you know, shooting with 2 cameras is finding the halfway way. Where do you think it is?
Hammer down and hold.
Sometimes it's but that's a quick edit, and I hope that was helpful.